Welcome to Promote Profit Publish. I'm your host, Juliet Clark, and today we're going to talk with Lynn Yuan Su about an event that's happening at the end of the month that I think if you're an author, coach, or speaker, you'll really enjoy. But before we get started, I want to talk about we have a plant panel coming up next week. It is our book writing, platform building, and beyond with AI panel. And I know authors are really having a tough time with AI. I never encourage you to write your book with it. You can keep your creative juices flowing and maybe use it for minor things. But the truth is here that AI can be a huge boost in your book marketing and platform building. So definitely something you should show up for. We have three great guests. Tracy Hazard is going to be talking about her new AI program called Brander, and it is a way to get yourself fully branded and really dive into your look and who you're actually working with as a profile. Gary McDermott, who is my partner on the Perfect Reader Playbook, which is a book marketing playbook for those nonfiction authors who have a business and a book. It is really the way to get your name out there the right way with the science of marketing, not just a throw spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. And also Adana Moriarty, who is the creator of Pro Book Launch. If you're a self-published author, you need this because it will give you all sorts of help with those fine details that you need to publish your book correctly when you're uploading and also getting your social media out there. So you can find out more about this. It's on March 17th. So show up in green at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and you can sign up for it, register at Breakthrough Events 3, the number 3, breakthroughevents3.com. So today's guest is Lynn Yuan Su, who is a mindset trainer and strategist. If you saw our training in January, you probably are already familiar with her. She helps high achieving, heart centered, and passionate driven entrepreneurs create meaningful success with more ease, alignment, and joy. A former registered dietitian who walked away from a successful but unfulfilling career. I'm hearing a lot of that. I have a couple dietitian clients right now. Lynn built her life through mindset mastery, inner awareness, and spiritual alignment. Today, she teaches entrepreneurs that 80% of success comes from how we think, not how hard we work. Through her Enlightened Success Institute, she guides clients to release old conditioning, tap into their potential, and build soul-led lives and businesses that feel as good on the inside as they do on the outside. Lynn offers support in mindsets and strategies that work. She keeps it real and practical, sharing her lessons and tactics that allowed Enlightened Success Institute become a multiple seven-figure impact generating business so her clients can do the same. So stay tuned for my interview on this event coming up at the end of the month with Lynn. Lynn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Juliet. I'm so looking forward to having this conversation with you.
I'm excited to talk about your coach business planning workshop because so many of our authors are coaches. And here's the typical that I see. So they jump in, they say, I'm going to be a coach. They don't know anything about funnels. They don't know anything about how they're going to get the message out. They take a couple workshops, they flounder, they don't know what they're going to create. You're like, that's me. And it takes years to get off the ground.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that because you need a plan, not only a business plan, a marketing plan. You need all that in place. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels trying to get appointments. So where do we start with all this?
First of all, I think my background and I spent the past years, almost 10 years, to build my coaching business. I came from a completely zero business background. I was working in healthcare. I was a registered dietitian. That's what I went to school for. I worked in that career path for almost a decade. I know I don't look like that. And just kidding. But when I first started this, I got certified just like exactly how you described it. I got certified because I found a passion. I found something I wanted to do so bad. I want to make this impact in other people's lives through this something called life coaching. Never built a business, never worked on a business plan, never had a plan for anything else because I was an employee. And I saw that
Mm.
over and over and over amongst a lot of my fellow coaches because a lot of us went through the same thing. We worked as an employee, whether we retired or made a change in our career path like I did, and we're jumping into this coaching thing without anything remotely to understand what is entrepreneurship. What does that even mean? What is a business ownership? What does that even mean? What is a business plan? I spent all of those years to finally figure out what it is, why it's important. Because if you want to make money, I mean, don't do anything just for making money. But if you're a coach, you have this passion, you really want meaningful impact to bring meaningful impact in other people's lives. And also you want that to positively impact your life. And you want to build it as a business and generate revenue, then you are building a business. You got to treat it as a business. The business mentality is the first thing. I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
my passion, and I went through this entire journey. If you can imagine somebody just running, think they're a runner, but they don't really know how to run. I have a 3-year-old, so I can picture that very clearly. But you just stumble, you fall, you learn along the line. I don't regret any of the parts of my journey, but my passion is to I'm so passionate about helping others to shorten their journey. And so that is why if you are a coach, you want to make money, that means you want to build a business. You
Mhm.
cannot treat it as a hobby. Hobby costs money. Beating is a hobby. For me, it costs me a lot of money. And yet business will generate money for you. And you want to have a business plan. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's not one of those 153 pages of report all typed out. Honestly, a piece of paper with your idea, your passion, a system that makes sense for you, for the coach individually. You don't have to copy it anybody else. Just because it worked for somebody else, it may or may not work for you. So really, so sorry, I'm throwing so much at you right now.
That no, that's okay because I've had things happen lately. So first of all, I'm going to go back to when I started my first business, which I was a real estate broker. You would be amazed how many real estate people get in trouble on their taxes because they don't know they have to not only withhold their portion like they did with an employer, but you have to withhold the employer's portion as well now. So that's one thing. The other thing is last year I worked with a coach that came to me for a marketing report. And I asked her, like, one of the questions you have to fill out, you went through our marketing program,
Yeah.
is what is the name of your business entity? And so I asked her, and she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, hold on. Do you not have an LLC? Do you not have a business entity? Do you not have a bank account? Were you going about to ensure, commingle your funds, which is death if the IRS catches you? And her answer was all of the above.
Mm.
And I was shocked as a coach that none of these basic, basic things had been put into place.
Right.
And so I made her that day. I'm like, I'm not going to run your report until you go get an LLC.
There you go.
That's it.
Good for you. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
So it's those
Yeah.
basics that are in there that they don't think about.
Yeah. And it's because you never thought about anything as a business owner. If you haven't never done things like I've never this is different direction, but a similar concept. I've never changed a diaper until I had my first baby. So I
Oh,
did not know. I did not know how to wipe a baby's bum. Like too much information. But I learned really quickly. Those are none of those things are hard concept or difficult. Some of it is, but it most of it is if you have this passion for the impact, you adapt, you learn. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm having fun
mhm.
now. Not always in the past, but if you really have this passion, then those are things it's so important to know. Once you know, It's easy.
Yeah, it is really
Very
easy.
easy. Yeah.
So talk to us about like we've already established like the business basics. Then you have to have the mindset. And
Yeah.
I find that one of the biggest mindsets that I find people can't overcome is asking for money. They get that client on the phone and, especially with the spiritual advisors out there, they think asking for money is, a bad thing.
Right.
So let's talk about that because you can't have a business unless you're bringing money in. And in order to bring money in, you have to be able to close the deal and ask for money.
Exactly, exactly. I was actually talking with a fellow who was also a real estate. She was she was an agent, and she said something that when she was doing that, something she learned is that if you don't prospect, you don't eat,
Oh, yeah.
and that sounds harsh, especially for again coaches who are just coming from this place of love and passion and peace and all of this amazing energy. And knowing that when you're asking, you're giving, for me, is so important that mindset shift of you're giving people the opportunity to invest in themselves. When
Mhm.
I sign up something for free or receive something for free, the energy is so very different. Not that I don't appreciate, I'm not grateful for it, but I do treat it differently versus I invested whatever amount of dollars. Money is currency, currency is energy. When somebody say it's so important for me to invest in myself, I always say, coaches, you're not important. You're very crucial, but take yourself out of the equation of it's not about you. A client saying
Mhm.
yes because it resonates with your message. They love your personality. That is all awesome. You are fit. And your job is to give your client the opportunity to really create transformation, changes that they want. That money represents that. A lot of
Mhm.
coaches, I'm pretty sure, not every, I'm not going to generalize to be every single coaches. No, most coaches, myself included, have done free work in the stages where I cannot ask for money. And for me is I was in a job, I show up, I get paid. My client never paid me. My patients as a registered dietitian never paid me. I get a payment from my employer. And now
Mhm.
you ask me for I'm a helper. I work in healthcare. How can I ask people for money? And it was a total mindset transformation to understand what that money represents. It is
Yeah.
coming here, coming from coaches' understanding of their work, of their business, of their offering. That is all about your client's transformation.
Yes. And it's funny conversation. This morning, I was talking with Gary, who's my partner on the Perfect Reader playbook. And he actually said he charges $10,000 a month for what he does. And he said, I've had so many people come lately and say, well, can't you do it for 2 or 3,000 a month? And he's thinking about in his head everything he does, the value he brings in teaching people how to buy and sell companies. And he's like, no, I can't. So
Exactly.
you really have to go through that because here's what I find. I don't know about you, but every time I discount something, I get the worst client ever because they're short on money, they're demanding, they want more than the contract says, that they get, and they're just really difficult.
When we're underselling ourselves, then that's the kind of energy we're of the clients we're attracting. Nothing wrong with that. I remember my very first VIP clients, I had my price set and in my head I'm like, that is way too much. And
Right,
and
right.
and I was like, "But I think that carries the amount of value." So literally, this is what happened. I said the investment amount. I knew that client would pay full price, and I got scared. I said, "But for you, 50% off."
Oh no.
So again, I'm sharing this because I want to use this story as a demonstration for coaches to say, it's a process. It's okay. If you go ahead or if you have done exactly what I have done, nothing to be ashamed of. I'm very proud that I did that, but I learned
Uh-huh.
valuable lesson from it. And of course, later on, as my price continued to expand and to grow, and it's because my understanding of what that investment amount is for my client has grown. It's coming from the space of love and holding the space. Can I offer my program at a much lower price? Yes, I can because I'm the boss. I say whatever. And
Right.
I want that amount of transformation for my client.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing in that is, as a coach learning how to close, I talk to so many coaches who think it's about, I'm going to give them an offer, I need the money, and they're going to say no, and it's going to be devastating. And I think it's really important for coaches to flip that script, because we always had to in real estate as well. Flip that script and listen to what they're saying and then decide if you want to make an offer. Because if you just go out there with this sense of desperateness and you've got somebody that says, "Oh, I've been with three or four coaches and I didn't get results," and they're blaming on the coach, you have to determine, like, is this person going to do that to me? Do I want to make an offer? Do I want to work with someone like this? And I will tell you, 9 out of 10 times, I won't make them an offer. It's just like, oh, I have this low cost thing over here. It's a DIY, go work it yourself and see how motivated they are. But I think once you flip that script in your head and just say, maybe this isn't the right person, your whole world expands as far as that. So, how do you get, you're a mindset coach, how do you get people into that mindset where they can take or leave a client?
It takes training. I cannot guarantee you, "Oh, we have a conversation, you're gonna be good to go." I had that experience with clients, and like, I can tell you it's very rarely, and those clients very often, they have done extensive mindset training, and mindset is a process. To change your belief, to change the way you think is a process, is an ongoing process. That's sometimes as coaches, we're just talking about this idea with one of my clients who is a coach. And we're talking about the idea of marketing, running a campaign on a magazine. And I said, it's for me, I don't recommend that. Why? Because if you just want to contribute articles and share whatever you believe or what tips, trips, the tricks that you have, that's amazing. You're adding value to the readers. If you're looking at ROI, is selling a concept, selling who you are as a coach, and this concept of coaching is difficult through just reading articles or looking at an ad. And it's because it would be very different if I'm selling ice cream. I can describe the ingredients, whatever, and then people get it because it's a tangible thing. So it's mindset, it takes work. It
Yes.
requires this commitment and it requires ongoing process. Now, here's the thing, it doesn't mean you cannot go ahead and start seeing result without. It's not like, oh, you need to have years of mindset training until you see result. No, it happens parallel. It comes with a decision. When you decide to say, you know what, I'm showing up as a business owner, as a true entrepreneur, and this is my business and I'm serving my vision of my business. Have a vision, have a very clear vision. What are you attracting for this year or next 3 years, whatever you work with? Be very clear in your business. And then be very clear of what your quarterly goals every 3 months. What are you generating?
Yeah.
How many clients are you serving? If you're just like, I don't know, make it up, right? Or double your previous year's income. Or if you say, I'm a new coach, I don't have any income from my coaching business yet. If you ever made money before, double that or just use that number as a reference. And then you can keep growing your passion, growing your understanding, your mindset. It's definitely a process. And what I can say is it's a wonderful thing to understand. When you build this relationship with truly understanding of who you are beyond a coach, beyond who you are as this beingness, and
Hmm.
you understand how your mind is translating into your daily experience and how you can change your daily experience through your own thinking. It is a very powerful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. More peace does not come from the world has peace. The news only has positive things to say. No, it's not. That's not word mind of peace of mind coming from here. feeling abundant. It's not, I promise you, you can keep saying, when I have $1 million in my bank account, then I will feel rich. Then I will be in abundance. I promise you that's not how it works. It started with here. So
Hmm.
that's the whole truth of it.
Yeah. And let's get back to prospecting for a minute because that was something we did a lot in real estate. I do mine a little bit differently now than I did when I was in real estate. But the one thing people don't understand is it's relationship building. So, power partners, it's not just I'm going to build a relationship with this person to get them as a client. It's building that overall relationship and building trust. So, how do coaches get into that mindset? Because I know they're all like, well, the business will just come to me. I know a lot of them don't prospect. They don't do the networking. They don't do any of that.
Yeah, or sometimes people just don't understand what that is even though they understand it literally. Again, it's part of the shift of coming from being an employee into being a business owner. It's yeah, what does that even mean? I I believe for a coach is to add value into other people's lives. So if you're coming from I'm serving, I'm adding value. It's not about, oh, Juliet, you need this. Let me shove this down your throat. No, actually, I believe serving, especially the beginning, is to zip it and listen more than speaking.
Yeah.
You be very genuinely interested in other people, in the person in front of you. Ask questions. By all means, if you run into people, you're just like, ah, that person, ooh, no, then don't approach them. Approach the people you energetically feel attracted. Let's have a conversation. How are you? What do you do? What are you working on? What are some of the challenges? If you feel that is a space where you can ask those kind of questions, what was your previous career? What does your family like? Where are they? Whatever. Do you have a fish? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Like, be genuinely interested in another person. Then you can sense, do I feel connected with this person from what they're sharing with you? Then you can genuinely feel whatever I can share, whatever kind of coaching you offer. Do you feel what you have to share can really add value for this person? If you do sense that, please, please open your mouth and say, I think I have something that can really benefit you. That's it.
Hmm.
I have a
Yeah.
workshop, I have a webinar. I would love to connect. Like, let's talk more about this. If you're open, ask, invitation. The other day I was watching a YouTube video. It was from Jim Rohn. And he's funny, right? And that's all he said. He's like, what can you do to get things you want in life? And to get all the, sales, whatever, it's ask.
Yeah.
You gotta
Us.
ask. And very often, I've been there, done that. We make up those stories. What is that person to think of me? What if they
Right.
know? What if I'm asking too much money? Oh my God, they're gonna tell all of my relatives that I'm saucy now. I had those thoughts, and they're your own fear. They're not coming from the other person. They are your own fear. The other day, I even got an invitation from somebody who a pure acquaintance, and we just know of each other, and we never talked on at any private level. She sent me a Facebook message like through voice message, and I could tell she was very nervous, and she is
Ah,
inviting me to consider her business, her network marketing business. And she just said, "Oh, you're probably just rolling your eyes," or and I understand that is coming from her own fear, because
right.
I'm not thinking that. I'm so, because she was, somebody I look up to, and she's sharing this with me. I'm so honored, and I'm so looking forward even just to catch up to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" You know, and we make up those stories. That's our own fear. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with. Please don't feel like, oh my God, I do feel that something. No, we all have that as long as we're breathing. Fear is part of our DNA.
Hmm.
We can all have fear. Full transparency, even now, right? Sometimes I invite people to work with me. I notice that part of me too. My fear is like, ha 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 ha. And I just don't let that part of me run the show. I take a deep
Hmm.
breath and say, you know what? Sometimes I double check with myself. Would I truly love to serve this client, this person. If I hear yes, then it doesn't matter what my fear says. I cause myself to say, I would love to work with you. It's an
Mhm.
open invitation and a detach. By all means, been there, done that. I need the money to
Yeah.
pay for whatever. And that became the driving force of that conversation. Guess what? That shows. Even if they say yes, like you said, Juliet, they become later on we start working together, realize, oh, that's not really good, you know. And that's okay too. That's okay too, coaches. We all go through ups and downs. And my passion again is to help coaches to have less of this romantic, roller coaster rides and
Yes.
really have a consistent, steady business going on.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. So I probably get a dozen quote abundance coaches a year. You see, I have little quotes right here. And it's so funny because when I make the pitch to them, 9 out of 10 of them will tell me they don't have the money. And it's like, wait a minute, you're an abundance coach? But
Right, right.
back to that other for a minute. Here's a great example, you guys. Lynn came to me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I could promote something. And I actually thought, oh my gosh, I can't this month. I've got too much, but could I at another time? So I ventured. I was a little bit scared, like, was Lynn not going to ask me anymore? But I went back and I said, hey, I can't. I've got XYZ going on. Is there another opportunity? And we found another opportunity there. So a no is not always a hard no either on some of
Exactly.
these things.
Exactly. I had a client who now is one of my top clients, and she stayed on my email list. She came through a campaign we did years ago. She stayed on my email list for 2.5 years, a good 2.5
Mhm.
years. And she's registered a whole bunch of my workshops and never showed up. And then she's has always been there. And eventually she at the right time for her. When I met her, eventually get to know her a little bit, I realized it was her timeline. It was her readiness. You don't want to call somebody into your work when it's not their time and when your time and their time is not connected. It's just trust yourself and keep doing the work. If you keep prospecting, I was just telling another client, she's a coach too, and put a time, uh half an hour, could be half an hour. If you're really adventurous, an hour, even just 3 times a week to start with. It's called prospecting. You're prospecting, you're prospecting. What is prospecting? You're intentionally asking somebody to work with you. Or you
Mhm.
could be intentionally asking somebody to connect with somebody. And it may lead into a sale, it may lead into just a time to connect. But be very intentional of those asks, but you keep asking. I promise you, if you keep all of this activity consistently, your income will be consistent. And once you have income come in, my friend, please do not stop doing what generate that income. How do I know?
Ex-
They're done now.
Yes, exactly. So you have a coach business planning workshop coming up. Tell us about what people are going to get from that and learn from that and where they can sign up for it.
When I first to understand the concept of having a plan for my business, I got overwhelmed. It felt very, I didn't even know where to start. If you ask me to write a nutrition care plan, I can do that with my eyes closed because I look training in it. And this is the thing. Let's do some training to understand the how to so in this 3 hour is a 3 hour workshop, so be ready. It's fun, it's very intimate, not well, depend on the size of how many people are coming in. My intention is to be making it very interactive, and I walk the coaches through a process that is coming from the years for me to build my coaching business. And not to brag or anything, just to demonstrate where my business is at. I've generated multiple $1 million cumulatively since 2021, since the moment I incorporated my business. And something I'm very humble and very grateful. And that also came a lot of lessons and failures. So again, my passion is to put it all together so your journey can be smoother and can be shorter as well. So we're going to get together to go through a step to step creation of your own business plan. It's not for, we're not, I'm not taking you through a generalized process. So you are going to have all the same thing. It's going to be something specifically for you. So that is my intention. It's really for coaches who, whether you have already done, you just like, have a LLC, you have your business bank account, or you are newer and you know that you're taking your coaching business very seriously, then this is for you.
That's great. And we will have the URL down in the show notes. It's events.enlightensuccess.com/coach-business-planning. So, Lynn, thank you so much for sharing today. And hopefully, all of you will get on board with the workshop if you're a new coach.
Thank you so much, Juliet. It's a great conversation. We didn't really follow a script or anything. This is great. This is great. Thank you.